That's all right.
I
So
test
we're
my
just recording it,
We
guys.
are
Yep.
now we are now recording my screen, so you can have a look back if you need it, and anyone else who didn't make it. I know 11 o'clock's a difficult time for a lot of people during the week. But yeah, basically to start off with, we're going to go through. I've got a blank profile here, so we're going to go through this blank profile as kind of a step by step to set up until we get to the quoting part, and then we'll hand over to Nige. Run you guys through some new features we're currently working on, which are really excited, and then we'll have some time for a bit of a Q&A. And if you did have access to BrushHand, we can go through a bit of a click through if you did need some assistance with any of the products in particular. Okay, so to start off with, we've got our home page here, and you can see we've got a nice little progress bar on the side here. We've got our updates panel. We've also got your business details, which will be here once we fill those out. And you've got a quick access panel here just for on-the-go things for what you might need off your home page instead of clicking through your nav bar on the side here. So we can see in the progress bar, steps 1 and 2 are required to generate quotes. So we don't want you sitting here having to fill out all this information, update this, update that before you can actually quote. So we've simplified it to the basics, your business details and a client, and then you can quote. This is because we do have default rates set up in the back end. So the quotes will run off those default rates. You will adjust those in custom meter rates if you wish to. So that's when you get to the kind of the more personalization of the quoting is with your paint costs and your meter rates. But yeah, to get started, it'll just be your business details and a client. So I'm just going to jump through and quickly do that now. So to update your business details, you can do it on the side here or off the nav bar under my company. So we're going to do that off the nav bar today. Again, I will be running through quite quickly. This is why we're recording it. But yeah, if you did have any questions on the instance, feel free to jump in quickly. So we're going to upload a logo to start with. So I'm just going to drop one in here. And we've got a little resize panel. So this is just a drag and drop. Purpose of this is so it stays in its little box when we're generating quotes. So I'm going to hit done. And then we're going to fill out our details, which I'll quickly do now. Got those copied on a sticky note, so you don't have to sit and watch me type and all my spelling mistakes, which are usually quite bad, aren't they, Nige? Good at picking up other people's spelling mistakes, never my own.
We're used to it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you get me all the time as well, so that's all good.
Well, you guys get me unfiltered. You don't get professional, Michaela. Sorry, Pete, and sorry, Nige. Okay, so we've got our business details in. The other thing I wanted to point out are the quote parameters and the terms and conditions. So these populate across 2 pages on your quote. So we've got some default ones in there, which you're more than welcome to have a look through if you wanted to jump on to your BrushHand app. But we're basically just outlining the parameters of the quote. So this is fully editable, and I highly recommend reading through these before adding them to your quote if you aren't going to edit them. And then we've got some terms and conditions here as well. So if we're happy with all this, we're going to hit submit. And we've now got our business details popping up. You can add more than one business details profile and select that from your quote if you require different business details to be added for your company setup. Just quickly back to the home page. We can see we've got our business details ticked off now, and we've got to add a client before we can quote. And you'll see our business details are populated on the side here. And our welcome bar's got a nice little personalization now, just to point that out. So we're going to move on to adding our first client, which again, pretty straightforward. So you can add it from the nav bar here, or you can use your quick access. I'll use the quick access. So again, we're popping in first, last name, and just an address and some contact details. This is for, the address is what I suppose the quote runs off in terms of its calculations for stuff like home warranty insurance, but it's more for your personal safe keeps of, I suppose, recording your clients' whereabouts, so you can kind of use it as a CRM.
Does the address auto-populate from Google or something, for example? If you were to start typing in an address, would it auto-finish?
No, not yet. I can do that. That is, yeah, that would be a good feature.
This is where we get
Yeah,
feedback from you guys that we're looking
it's
for
all
more
those
and
little
more.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
all
were
these
to
little
start typing 10 Anywhere Street, it would find all of the 10 Anywhere Streets and you just
anywhere
click
streets in
return
the
to
country.
customer.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
absolutely. I can definitely look into that. It's been quite a speed build, this one. So all those little nitty-gritty things that are definitely on the to-do list.
When
Okay.
we say speed build, it has taken almost a year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it hasn't exactly been an overnight thing.
Okay. So we've got our first client in there now. So when we run back to our homepage, we've got step 1 and 2 ready. So technically we could jump straight into a quote. So we'll select our business details, select our client, and go for it with the quote. I'm just going to show you steps 3 and 4, which are to kind of more personalize the quote. A lot of people I've noticed when we've jumped onto the admin portal haven't really been getting into steps 3 and 4. That's really going to narrow down those the time rates and the costings more to your business needs. So we'll have a look at those now. So we're going to do the paint library first, which again, accessible from quick access or on the nav bar here under quoting. We've got the paint library. So in your paint library, I've got no paints at the moment. I will point out we've got these default costed at $10 per litre, and the sizes we have available, if available in that product and brand, are 4 litres, 10 litres, and 15 litres. Again, as we said before, if you do need additional sizes or additional products, we can add those in upon request. So I'm just going to go down to the paint library. Again, we've got 548 sitting in here at the moment. So it can be a bit hard to kind of decipher and find which ones you need. That's why we've got a nice little advanced search panel over here. So we can search by brand. I'm going to use Racine, and we can search by type as well. So I'm just going to search off the brand name to start with. Okay, so let's say I want the ceiling paint. It comes in a 10 and a 4 litre, so I'm going to make sure I select both in case I'm needing to purchase a 4 litre for a quote as well. Once we've selected which ones we're after, I'm going to hit add to my paints at the top here and select yes. Now that those have been added to my paints, we can adjust our costings. So we're just going to click on the paint and we're going to hit edit, and that'll allow us to change the costings for that paint. And yeah, so that's our paint library. If you did want to request a paint, I'll show you how to do that now while we're on that topic. So I've got a help request form down the bottom on the nav bar, or there also is the button on the quick access on the home page as well. So we're going to submit a new request. You can select the form name or request a new paint up here. You can put a little subject and description in or a photo for me if you like. Otherwise, just the brand name, product type, and a little description will be fine. When you hit submit, that gets sent through to us, and then we'll be able to add that in to the paint library. Okay, so now we go back to our home page. We've got step 3 done. Last one's your custom meter rates, which I'll walk you through. What did you want to do this one, Nige?
No, you're right. You can go
Yeah,
through it.
cool.
It's easy.
Okay, so your custom meter rates are also found under quoting. So we've got new and saved. I don't have any, so I'm going to make a new custom meter rate. So you have the option to select from 3 pre-saved slots. So that's if you had, again, different needs throughout your business when quoting, you can have different setups under these. So I'm going to do custom
Say,
preset
for
1.
instance, guys, if you do resi work or you're doing commercial work or you're doing EPA work, you may set different rates depending on those things.
Yeah, thanks, Nige. So I'm going to pretend this is a resi one. As I said before, we do all have default rates in here. So if you hover over, it'll tell you our default rate, which for a prime coat for gyprock plaster spray brush roll, we've got 14 square meters per hour. So if you're quicker than that, make it 16. If you're a bit slower, adjust it. So let's just say we didn't want to adjust absolutely every single one of these. You just know you're quicker at this one. I'll put in 16 across these, and we can save that. And it's going to update those figures and fill in the rest with our default rates, which are through here. Okay, so now we've got our custom meter rates set. We've
That makes
completed.
sense, guys. Yeah.
Can you change what the areas are called? So instead of plasterboard, could you change what that title is called?
We can change it. Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
if we were looking at getting rid of Gyprock, I am aware that Gyprock is a
Yeah.
brand name. So that was on the
Yep.
edit list to change it to plaster. If there's a substrate that we don't have listed that you would like listed, we can get that programmed into the system.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. So we've got steps 1 to 4 complete now. So we've done the basics and we've personalized. Now we can do a quote, which I'll hand over to Nigel for because I certainly am no painter. So when you're ready,
No
Nigel,
dramas.
go for it. I'll
Okay.
stop sharing.
Yep.
Did
Right
you
one, guys.
see the message from Rinny too? Someone else was trying to join.
Oh, okay.
It just in the Facebook messages.
If she just
When you
sends
send a
them the
message.
link. Okay, if you just get her to send a link, you send her a message. Because
Yep.
no one else popped up on my screen to coming in. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So we're on the right one. We're on the homepage for mine. Okay. So we'll go through the quoting quickly. Obviously, as Michaela said, you can do it here or over here. Let's just add new quote. Now, I don't know if you've seen the sample quotes. Have you seen those guys or not?
Yep.
You have? You've both seen them, so you know
Yep.
what they look like and everything? Okay. So with the company, as Michaela said, you can have multiple companies. So once again, if you've got, say, 2 companies that you work under, or you do one that's EBA contracted and another company that's not, so all your rates will be different. You can put it under each of those. You can just jump on any old client there and just hit, yep, there we go. Now the client address, this is already, because we've obviously done a fair bit of testing and playing with this sort of stuff, so we've got a few in there. Client address, same as, or you can actually change the address if it's a different address, if it's a rental property, things like that, and everything will get saved in the way that you want it. So you can work out your hourly rate. Okay, for this, we'll just chuck in 110 an hour, just to give us an idea. The custom meter rates we'll look at will be residential, which is similar to what Michaela's just done there. And then the job type. You're going to generally have preparation. The one I'm going to look at will be an interior house. I've actually got a plan I'll quickly run through you. Hopefully it doesn't lag. Let me know if it does, and we'll look at that. So what we've got here is I actually have the plan of a house on here. Now from that, we can have a look. We can put the dimensions on it, so it actually measures it out. Now I've already done all of these measurements. Okay, this gives us all the measurements of where windows, doors. I've already done all of those, so I've actually done all the takeoffs for this to make it a lot quicker. What you can do in this sort of case, you can go for a quick walk through the house. So if it isn't going to lag too much, I'll try and do it and give you an opportunity to actually have a look at the house with the measurements, with all of those sorts of things. This is what we have in our platinum package for the members that are, geez, bouncing around for the moment, not how I want to work.
Is this a version of a 3D scanning software?
You've got it. Yep, it's exactly what it is. So I'll just take the tape. I'll just remove the measurements, so that might help to speed it up. So, but I've gone through this house and looked at different things and done some quotes and things. So I'm just going to come to the master bedroom and just give you some ideas of what to look at. Say for instance, you come into here, you can see looking at these, and it is lagging. I don't know whether or not. Hang on, I just had someone else wanting to come in.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Simon.
Yeah, Simon, as you come in, just seeing if he's jumped in. I did click in, my computer went to a lag, so nope, I can't see him now.
There he is.
Oh, he isn't there? You there, Simon?
I am.
Okay, perfect, mate. Well, okay, welcome. So I'm just going through a quote at the moment, just doing a 3D walkthrough on a house, so you can have a look at how we do quotes. We've only just got started on this. So I mean, on this particular house, when I've gone through, I've noticed, look at the yellowing. So you'd be looking at it being oil-based, needing to be changed to a water-based substrate. You've got, obviously cracking, gaps need to be filled. What sort of filling needs to be done? And all of those sorts of things. So, so you just check out those the same as you would any other quote that you might be doing, and have a look and see whether you're going to change it. But with this one, as I said a second ago, I just before you came in, Simon, we were actually just looking at the plan and the takeoffs, and which I've already done all of the measurements for
I will
them.
just also preface this model that we're currently looking at is from one of our partners. It's not included within BrushHand.
No, no. This is from for our platinum members that that are involved with us that get this sort of plan coming through SellSmart. So okay, so as I said, we've gone through. So what you'll do, I'll just quickly we'll put the company in, the client, whatnot, your charge out rate, preset the meter rates, the custom meter rates, and we're looking at the preparation and interior on this one. So we'll add it in. I just had a look at, through the property. We're looking at just general preparation. Obviously, we've got lead-based, pressure washing, all of those other sorts of things you might need. You don't have to add any comments in there. You can if you choose. I'm just going to put in 8 hours of prep for that house that'll automatically total up at that $110 an hour. Okay, you can make adjustments for whatever you want for that. You might say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll just include it in my price anyway. So that there is put in your general preparation and work out your price. So then we go to the interior. We'll add a new, the part of the new. So once again, it's automatically populated across the charge out rates. You can put in individual room names. So I could say a bedroom. Hey, so you can do just a bedroom.
You want to call?
Yep, you can do just a bedroom if you choose. The ceilings, the walls, the doors, the windows, the skirts. Okay, and away you go from there. So you could say the ceiling. You can put that in as 3.5 by 3.5. Okay, just an average sort of bedroom. So it gives you the meterage rate in there. It's plasterboard, brush and roll, number of coat system. We're looking at a 2-coat system, and it'll auto-populate the dollar value based on what's there. You can add any other comments. The walls. Okay, so the wall height on that was 2.4, and the wall length is 14, 15, 16 meters. Okay, so, and that'll spit out your meterage. You put in there, number of coats, 2-coat system, and it'll spit out your price. So on in there there were 3 doors because there was a row. The door types, they were flat panel, and you've got 3 door frames. Okay, number of coats. Remember we said that was enamel, so it's going to be a 3-coat system. So it automatically populates once again against your custom rates. Windows, now there were no windows in there. There was only a window frame. So this is worked out on the lineal meter rate. So you'll put in, so it was 5 lineal meters. You're going to paint it. We have put in for stain on some of the things. 3-coat system once again. It populates there. Skirtings in there to be painted. There was, you say, 16 meters. For that, number of coats, 3-coat system again, totals up, and it gives you a grand total for that room when you refresh it. There we go, for $1,200.
No,
Okay,
you might need to close. You might need to close that 3D floor plan down. You got some bad lag.
Okay, it's gone. Okay, is that better?
Not sure yet.
Okay, give it a sec. Is everyone following me at the moment?
Everything's good.
Yep.
Okay, cool. No dramas. Okay, so you've got the areas listed there that you do. You can put in there, so say, for instance, we didn't include inside the robe, so you could say exclude robe or inside robe. Okay, so you can just add that. If you want to bold it, you can bold it and make sure that it's highlighted for the client. So as what that'll go on the quote. Okay, and then we save that. Now that's if you're doing one room. So obviously you've got bedroom, the areas, what's what from there. Now you can add the next room now and go through the same thing. Now, in this particular case, what I've done is I've actually done the whole house. So I've done the takeoff on the whole house. So I've got all of the measurements here and I'll quickly run through. So we're going to do all the rooms. Okay, the areas we're going to hit are your ceilings, your walls, your doors, the windows, your skirts. I'm not going to worry about inside the cupboards. There's a bit of mucking around with those, with measuring them out and whatnot. So the ceiling, there was 180 square meters. So I'm just going to quickly do 10 by 18, which gives us our 180 square meters. It is plasterboard to be brushed and rolled, 2-coat system, and it'll automatically calculate here for us the cost. You can add any inclusions, exclusions. The same with the walls, wall height 2.4. The wall length was 219 meters all the way around. It'll spit out the rate for us. Plasterboard, 2-coat system, total, it'll come out there. Doors in the house, there were 12 doors. The door type, once again, they were flush panel doors. there were 13 door frames, because there was a door frame on a sliding door, or on a door with
Cavity.
didn't have anything. Yeah. You got door frame. That's going to be painted. Number of coats, 3-coat system on everything. Spits out your price. Windows. Now this is there were no windows. They're all aluminium. There was 77 linear meters of windows to be painted. Paint your window frames. Number of coats, 3-coat system. There. Skirtings. There was 196 linear meters of skirtings to be painted. Number of coats, 3-coat system as well. Okay. Cupboards, total room. If you wanted to add anything in there, once again, exclude inside robes. Okay. Now you hit refresh button and that will recalculate everything and update it all to your
You'll
total.
have to put your comment back in. You overread it.
Okay. Just exclude. Yep. Okay. And save it. Now, so we've got all the rooms in the house and we've got the bedroom. So I'll just quickly remove the bedroom. That was just obviously just to show you, and then we go through the whole thing. Now, at this point here, this is when you can add your photos. So you can walk around the house, take some photos, add your images. And there we go. It's going to bring it up. So these are just the generic images that we've used. Quickly add those in. You can edit the sizes and things like that. You can take them straight off the phone. You can actually take the photos while you're walking around the house if you want. And so this just personalizes it for the client. So the client actually feels as though, oh yeah, that's how that's going to come out, or that's how that looks, or, you know, those sort of things. So it gives them a little bit of those warm fuzzies. But now, hang on, there we go. Bear with me 2 seconds, guys. Get this done. Has anyone got any questions on anything yet as we go?
Is there a way to make those photos portrait instead of landscape?
No, it's just due to the template that the quote populates on. If we had different sizes going on, sometimes they could be blown up and take a whole page. So that's why we've restricted it. So the quote's nice and neat.
Gotcha. Thanks.
That's all right.
Also, with
What
the
have you got?
rooms, when you were adding rooms, if you are only doing 3 rooms and not the whole house, could you create the first room and then just copy and paste that and just change a couple of dimensions?
Absolutely.
Can?
Yeah, you could do
Yeah.
that now with the line that you've got there. If you click your 3 dots next to the price,
Oh yeah, you can do that
Yeah.
and then edit.
there should be okay.
No, there wasn't a.
Instead of creating 3 new rooms and putting in the same thing each time.
Okay. Yeah. No, there should be there should have been a duplicate option available. That won't take me too long at all. I'll look into that.
Yep.
Yep. Perfect.
Great one.
Okay. Yep. Now, the materials. You've got 2 options here when it comes to materials. So we've uploaded. Oh yeah, here you can add extra images if you decide. Now these images don't go on the quote; they go onto your system into the CRM linked with this quote and this project. So what? Say for instance, you're walking around, you're doing the outside of a house, and you see paint splatters all over the concrete. Get some photos, put that in your spare file. So you've got that to prove that you haven't actually caused those paint splatters if the client carries on about it.
Good idea.
Okay, so it's just just protect yourself on things like that. So you've just got a record, you know, at the time. Because how many times has that happened? Oh, there was never paint there. I can remember it happening plenty of times to me. Oh, there's never any paint, you know. So now, so there's 2 ways we can calculate here coming forward. We can do the materials at a percentage. Now we've preset that out at 15% when we do a refresh. Yep, a recalculate. So that's set at 15% currently. So that's on your cost there. And then we've put a profit margin in there as well. So you can do it that way, or alternatively, you can actually go through and select individual products. So say, for instance, if you're doing a big size job, all of these products have been set to their spread rates. So they're actually will work off, you know, here it tells you your interior prep. Well, that's working on a, you won't add that for meters. That's an estimated figure of what preparation work you're going to need to do. But here, ceiling, we've got exactly 360 square meters of ceiling to do. We have 1,051.2 square meters of walls to be painted, 48 square meters of doors, frames,
That's
etc.,
also
etc.
calculated on the number of coats you've selected.
Mm.
So if you've
Yes.
selected 3 coats for your walls, it'll have the square meters for a 3-coat system.
Yep. So then from here, you add new, select the area. So we just go the ceilings. Okay. So we'll just go the ceilings for the second, so I can quickly show you,
Don't
so you can work out. Hey,
just click out of the
then
box if you.
yeah,
Sorry.
and then it's loading. You're up. Then it's loading your paint. So let's just go to the decorator high opacity. It'll tell you exactly how many liters you need, and you can put in 3 drums. We've got a 10-litre drum, and there's your cost. We've got it preset, and you should have 2.31 litres left over based on the spread rate of that product. Okay, so it just tells you exactly how many litres you need, and then you can base that, so if it's a 15 litre, you get 2, and same thing, you'd end up with 2.31. Okay, you can go through that with each product as it goes. So I'm not going to do it with each product because obviously the time constraint, so we'll just bounce it back to the percentage. Now we've got in here, if you go and try and save this now, it won't work. We have in here what we call a job setup and a job pack up. So we've made allowances in here for half an hour in the morning to set up and half an hour in the afternoon to pack up. So depending on how you're doing it, if you're able to throw all the drop sheets down, not have to worry about it, the place is going to be empty, you do that once, and you're just walking straight in, mixing paint, chucking in your pot, and off you go. You might say, no, we won't muck around with that. We'll just hit no. If you've got, and you might add an extra air-engine prep work or something like that as part of it. If you've got a house full of furniture that the people are living in that you have to set up every morning, pack up every afternoon, yes, that will make an adjustment here right through. And I think it did it when I clicked it. So it did. So that'll make those adjustments.
That if you think it's going to be more than half an hour to an hour or whatever?
You can do that through the extras.
Yeah.
If you wanted to show them the extras, Nige.
Yep. So the extras
cool.
where we can add into here. So you can add extras into there.
Yep.
And then when you come down to there, you just add extras and put in for there how many ever hours you think that will be.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Okay. So you might say, okay, well, it's going to be a 10-day job, so I'm going to allow 10 hours in that for that, at that, and that'll just be set up, pack up, or whatever you want to put in there. Okay. But we've just put that in so as it's a reminder. So it won't actually let you save unless you've clicked one of those buttons. Okay, they have to be highlighted. So it's just giving you that opportunity there. So from there, once again, we just refresh, make sure everything's done. All changes are made, so that's a bit extra for your time. It's based on your rates and whatnot. Now, this is in Queensland, so you have home warranty insurance. So we're looking at just shy of $28,000. So we've got a premium table there. You can click on that. This will bring up the latest premiums for that. So at 28,000, you just quickly copy that, paste that back into your quote. Yep, there, recalculate it, and that updates you to everything, including your home warranty insurance that will show on the quote as a separate line item. Okay, you sign it. Okay, you got today's date. You can adjust dates. So it's telling you that one person on the job's 20, or might I say 21 days. You can set your start date. So if the client accepts on the spot, when you go through it, you can set the start date and say, yep, we're going to start it then. And the end date will be 10 days after that, or 11 days. So we put, well, it was 21, but you add the end date. Okay.
If you've adjusted your meter rates to allow for a large team, that predicted working days will reflect how long it'll take that large team based off your custom rates.
Okay. Then you'll submit that. Quote's added successfully. Oh, I've hit something, bumped everything up. There's your quote. There's the quote that we've just done. So you can download that and then you can email that to the client. So that gets emailed to me and then I can that there with the drag and drop stuff.
You don't email straight from BrushHand to the client?
No, it'll go straight to your inbox.
Goes to your inbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case you accidentally click the button and you didn't want to send that one. Or the client's got a different email address all of a sudden, anything like that. You have full control over how and where and what the email says when you want to email it to them.
Okay. Now opening it, download it, 6, download it, Open it. There's the quote. And there's the quote that we've just created with all the images, content, what's there, terms, conditions, the money, and that's everything there.
And the logo at the top will also be yours. It won't be a BrushHand
That'll be,
logo.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was the
yeah.
logo that we did at the beginning when we set up the business. Okay.
Very good.
So yeah, so that's, I guess, that part. And then I will, if anyone doesn't have any other questions on the quote side of things. Everyone's good for that?
Yep.
Yep. Good.
Awesome.
Okay.
I
Brilliant.
can
Okay.
I can run
Oh,
you
you've got
through
a question
some.
or you're right?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yep.
That's fair enough with all the quoting and all that, but is this going to be profitable? And secondly, how do you sort of stay competitive, obviously, in the market?
Sorry, how do you stay competitive in the market?
Yeah, like obviously, how are you going to sort of show up for the customer and sort of stay competitive? Is like you just like weed out the price shoppers and just the one that goes just for the bottom dollar, or like do you sort of have a way that you just target certain clientele and say, look, this
Well,
is
okay, well, this comes down to, I mean, obviously, this is individual to every business. So every one of you are different in your business, how you run your business, the structure of your business, all of those sorts of things. You know, you might own your car, own everything, not happy paying any leasing fees, own your house. So you're able to work on a lower rate compared to Bert, who's out there. He's bought a Ram and he's paying that off at $1,000 a month. He needs to be charging more to cover his expenses. So that's where your individual business should be individual. Your pricing should be individual.
Mm,
You know,
exactly.
you shouldn't be worrying about what other people price, because all you're going to do is, if you're going in and working as a business to try and undercut someone to win more work, you're actually going to lose money, because the majority of the people out there have no idea how to actually quote. They just walk in, they look at it. Okay, well, I guess that all three of you here, I'll ask you, have any of you done a personal budget in the last 6 months?
Yep.
Yeah, probably 8 months, yeah.
You have? Good.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay, so from that, you know how much you need to earn as a wage to keep the roof over your head, food on the table, all of those sorts of things, if you've done that. Okay, so that's your starting out. You know you need to earn $100,000 a year, for example. Okay, so you've got to make allowances within your business, but then have you done a full business budget and costing to work out your hourly rate of your business, of what your business costs before you get out of bed? That's the other one that you need to
That's
do
right.
next.
You got all your
So-
insurances, your licenses, running
look,
costs of
just-
your vehicle, everything.
Okay, yeah, well, let's just say, okay, just for you to think about it based on a 40-hour week, how much do you guys spend on fuel a week? Just a rough figure.
Roughly about
150, 300.
$100.
110?
Okay, easy numbers, let's say 120, okay, for easy numbers. So for a 40-hour week, $3 you've got to allow just for your petrol bill.
Mm.
If you're up over 200, you've got to allow $4 to $5 per hour just for your petrol bill. Then forget about you got to add in your insurance. To your vehicle registration over a year works out to about, what is it now, nearly $1,000?
Yep.
You know, $800, $900. So you've got to add all of those things and break all of that back down to an hourly rate. You know, how much you spend on marketing, how much you're spending on all those sorts of things. You know, this is where Michaela's going to go through some of these things, or between us, we're going to go through a couple of these things, or send you off to have a look at like the business costings and how all of these other things work in the background. Okay. And I know I've gone sort of off track a little bit with what we're talking about, but working out your exact costings within your business to work out how much you need to charge. So we've based this, so just to give you an idea, we've based this business on a 3-person business. We've worked out that the day rate via the number of staff, you need to be charging out staff members at a minimum of $71.32 just to cover your costs. That's before you get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the hourly rate so you need to be charging out $214, you might as well say, based on the operating size of this business. Okay, so that's where you need to be. So this is about giving you and educating you at the same time where your money's going. These figures are rough figures. We've sort of made them up as we've been going along and updating, because obviously I'm not running a painting business. I have got figures, but I haven't run a painting business for over 15 years now. So I've been doing this sort of stuff with you guys and helping you guys out and training apprentices. So this is just a basic, small 3-person business, spending over $500,000 a year is what we're looking at. And that's what you need to be. That's what you need to be running at. Okay.
Might
That's,
steal that screen share off you when you're ready, Nige.
Yep. Okay, go for it. You can grab it.
Thanks.
Do I have to jump out of it, or you get it? So
I'm
that's
just sorry, I was being conscious of time.
Yep, you're up.
Okay.
So does that help a bit with that? I think it was Simon that asked that question, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but
right.
if you want to have
Thank
a chat to me at some stage, mate, give me a buzz. If you want to have a chat to me and need a bit of help on direction on where you're going with your business, stuff like that, we help you out with that sort of thing too, mate. So feel free to give me a buzz.
All good.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Nige.
Okay, you pinched it back?
Yeah,
I
cool.
can only see
All
yours.
right. Awesome. Okay.
I had 3 screens going. I'm going, which one am I looking at?
I can see your desktop. I was getting really confused. All right. So we've gone through how to set up the quote, how to personalize it, how to add your quote. And we've got a heap of features to the tail end of those quotes as well, to help with your business structure, with your pricing and keeping track of all of that. So the first thing we've got is your business costings dashboard. So these we recommend you do monthly, and we do have it integrated with some other functions within BrushHand, so to save a lot of that manual time of entering in all those figures. So I've got our dashboard, which has got all your lovely little tables and figures and graphs broken down, and the record of your entries. You got a nice little reminder up the top. Actually, sorry, I've gone off track. I might take you through the dashboards within the quoting sector first, because we didn't get a chance to go through those.
Yep.
So once you've submitted your quotes, you've got your quote status dash. This is kind of like your homepage. You've got your figure up there of total paid versus total pending quotes. We've got your total paid quotes for the months coming across here. And we've got these fun little statuses so you can keep track of where things are up to. So you don't have to keep that in the memory bank of, oh, hang on, has that client got back to me yet? Did I send that to that client? Did they accept it? When did I have that job scheduled? You can change all those statuses really quick and easy. So we've got the quote that Nige just did up here under quoted. So I'm just going to right click and I can change it to whichever status it suits. The next one would be to submit it to the client. So I can chuck that to submit it to client. And that'll update your status. To get it in your calendar here, you have to schedule it, which I noticed. I don't think we popped in an end date for that one. So I'm just going to edit. I'm just going to edit the quote from this panel, so it won't take you out of the whole screen, which is quite handy. So if we scroll down to the bottom, we've got our start date for the 11th of October, predicted 20 working days. So we'll pop it in as a finish date for September, and we'll update that.
It's backwards, but
Yeah.
Oh, whoopsie.
No dramas, Bert.
No,
we will
right.
be
Thanks,
be
Bert.
posting it. So
No, cheers.
Yeah, easy.
take care. Thanks, mate.
Okay. Apologies. I'll just update this. And once you've got that updated, it'll pop up in your calendar over here. I can't remember the address for it, but you can
I think
click
that's
on
the
it.
one.
Yeah, you can click on it to bring up a panel here. This is the other view we've got when you click through your quote. So it's got a breakdown of what you've done. So it's got your little overview here. And then if you select through, it tells you which paints you selected. You've got your meter square rates, if they're applicable for that quote. It's got your areas that you've selected and your job photos in there as well. So this is just kind of like an overview. You've got the same type of thing for your clients as well. Okay, you can also archive your quotes if you don't want them showing up here and whatnot. So yeah, that's your quote status dash, and then you've got your work schedule, which is a calendar, just a bigger calendar if you needed to look at that on a larger screen. So from there, you've got your business costings, which I briefly ran over before.
Can I make a Michaela, do you just
Yes.
want to duck back to the quoting for a sec?
Yes.
I was going to suggest show the map and
Oh, of course. So within your quote views, so we'll go to all quotes. I've already got it up here.
yep.
You can view them in different formats. So here we've got a list format. On the side here, you can choose to show it as a calendar timeline, or we've also got a map feature. So you can do that based off the job address, which will bring up little pinpoints of all your jobs and as well as their statuses when you hover over it, so you know what's going on where. You can choose to, if this is a feature that you'd use quite regularly, you can choose to save that and you can give it a title and we can hit save. And then you've got a toggle up the top here where you can toggle between your list view and your map view. Okay, I think that's all for quoting. So our business costings, we recommend that they're done monthly. So you've got a nice little reminder up the top here. And it's pretty simple. So we're just clicking add monthly business costings. And you're selecting the date. We've also got the option to add your receipts for the month. So we've got a receipts tracker, which is really simple. You just add in the photo of the receipt, how much it was and what category it is, and they're all stored under here. So you can add the receipts for the month, which I did have some sitting under September, so they've dragged over. And the other feature that is our newest feature is our staff timesheets. So you can add your staff timesheets for the month as well, and they will automatically populate in. And then you can go through and add in your business costings and it'll break it down for you here. And upon submitting, it'll add that into your dashboard. I'll just quickly show you the receipts. So yeah, those are all in here, so you can keep track of them. You can also export these. So if you needed them for your tax return, we can export the data as whatever you feel like. We could do a PDF and we'll go export and you'll be able to save that on your computer or your phone if you needed that.
The file to you.
Yeah.
It's a really handy feature, I think, for
That's
the
very
guys
good.
who when you pull in to get petrol, you know what it's like. You chuck your receipt in your drawer, quick take a photo, bang, it's in there, and you've got the record forever. You know.
Yeah.
So when the accountant or bookkeeper comes to you and says, "Hey, I need that receipt," you've got, yep, here we go, bang, and you can send them all in with the images and the amounts and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, super quick and easy, this one. Now we've got relatively new features that we've released, and all of these are they all surround and work in towards the quoting tool, which is the main purpose of BrushHand. Our newest feature is our staffing portal. So for the basics of the staffing portal, they can import their timesheets, and this can actually link to your quotes. So you'll be able to track how many hours you quoted for that quote versus how many hours were worked on that job. So you can have a look at if you need to refine some things or if your staff just need to be quicker. So that is viewable.
You can work out who's
Work
working faster and who's
faster.
working. Well,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, this will help you to break that down and work
Yeah.
that stuff out.
So this is all under your staff overview. So um, this is available if you've got our solo package. You can have one staff member. Um, team is up to 5 and crew is up to 12, and they'll each get their own portal for these timesheets. And we
They'll
do
log in.
have, yeah, their login. So you would add a staff member, pop in their details, their wage breakdown per hour, their email, and when you hit submit, it shoots them an email, which gives them a login to their portal, which I'll show you what the staff portal looks like if we've got time, and then you've got your list of your staff. So in your staff overview, you can schedule them to jobs. So any jobs that are work scheduled or in progress, you can add in. I've got a full breakdown of this in a video, which we've just done. If you wanted to have a look at it broken down a bit further, I'm just being conscious of time. So yeah, you can add your timesheets in and whatnot, and then you've got your reports here of how many hours they've done. You've got a calendar as well. And then yeah, you can filter this by job address, so you can have a look at how many hours were worked on that job address for the entirety of the job and how many hours you quoted it for. And then I think that's everything for
Jump to
staff
the
other than our brand new feature.
with the no, with the staff with the timesheets. Do
Yes.
you want to jump? So the timesheets, if they add the timesheets in their staff portal, it actually gives you the location of where they are as well.
Yes.
So
Okay.
they instead of being 10 minutes from the job, if they're putting on their on there, it'll actually tell you that they're 10 minutes from their job.
Yeah, so we've got the
So it
added
pins it.
location, so where they've added this record from, and a modified location, so where they've modified it from, and you can compare that to the job address. So if I click this little pin here, it'll show me where this document was edited, which is it's our offices pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've got that nice
Within
little
100
pin.
meters.
Yeah, so if Billy says, yeah, I'm on site, and you're like, you haven't signed in yet, you haven't done your timesheet, and Billy submits a timesheet and he's sitting at home playing the PlayStation, you'll know about it. Okay. Um, yeah, so with our staffing portal, the newest feature we're currently adding in, which I've been working on the past 3 days, is staff timing rates. So you've got your custom meter rates, but we're building something where your staff can actually track their meterage rates, how quickly they're spraying and back rolling, how quickly they're doing their skirtings, and they can track that over time. And to, I guess, to show improvement for them and also for yourselves for your own meterage rates that you're inputting into these quotes, you'll have a record of how quick or slow your staff are. So we're currently building that through, actually, I think I can show you. So it basically looks the same as custom meter rates. They've just got a few more extra little calculators to kind of help them get those rates in. It'll send you a report of the entry that they put in for their rates, and it'll actually give you a document which is their average. Obviously, they're not going to be painting every single substrate every single day on the job. So if they did just skirtings that day and they've worked out their meterage rate for their skirtings, they can submit that and it'll kind of collate an average and give you a report over time. So we're currently in a demo user that's got a staff portal. So this is what your staff will receive and what they'll be able to view within BrushHand. Very minimal. They've got their dash for their timesheets for the day and their timesheets as well as their worked hours. They can start work and then select the job address. Sorry, this is a demo user, so I don't have any linked to it. And then you'll get an email notification every time they start and finish a timesheet. They'll also get an email notification every time they start and finish a timesheet. But sorry, back to our meterage rates. So they can add a meterage rate in. I'm a bit nervous because I haven't finished this. You're seeing the development, so I haven't actually published it yet, so I'm hoping it works. So let's just say they painted 12 meters squared of a prime coat of a wall. It took them 35 minutes. That's their rate. So their rate would be 20 meters squared per hour for a prime coat for Gyprock brush and roll. We do have prime first coat and second coat because obviously, as you saw with the quoting, you can select those different things and it might take you a bit quicker to do certain substrates than others when you're doing like your finishing coats. Is that right, Nige? If you're doing your top coats, you've got to be a bit more careful. So yeah, so yeah.
No, you'll do more in your top coats than you will the first coat.
Okay, true. Copy.
Yep.
Sorry, you're not a painter.
No.
So yeah, they've got this
But this
nice
is
little,
even, yeah.
yeah.
I was
So
going
they've
to
got,
say, even here, you can put, say, doors in. So say, for instance, minutes to hours. So if they've done, when you go down
yeah.
to your doors, they might do, say, 4 doors in 1 hour.
No, this is
So,
our door rates calculated difference.
okay.
So
We
it's
haven't got to that one yet.
so doors and windows and I think it was gables possibly.
Yep.
They're calculated per item, not per meter squared or linear meter rate.
Okay.
So with the doors, they've done both sides of a prime coat and it took them 20 minutes.
You've got stuff on the left, probably, because you've got both.
And it took them 20 minutes. This is what I'm scared about. Okay, I hadn't programmed this one. So would it be
Okay.
0.25 of an hour?
Yeah, a third, 30%, 33.
33. So they would get their rate and they would put that rate into the doors. You'd get sent a report of this. You can update your custom meter rates. So this is what we're currently working on. And then they've got their average meter rates, which you'll get a nice little report for, which looks like this. But
This,
for
guys, So
Yeah.
this one, okay, so we're building this one out. So you get a better idea, firstly, to work out, I mean, how long it takes for them to do a particular task. Okay, so that's for you to work out, your rates. You need to know, does your painter that's working for you, your staff member, do they do 4 doors an hour? Do they do 6 doors an hour? You know,
Yeah.
does it take them 10 minutes a door? Does it take them 15 minutes a door? So you can work out your quoting based across that with all your staff. Okay. Now it'll take a little bit of time to get these guys to actually start doing this. But what you're going to find is that once they start doing it, you're going to be able to tighten down your quotability. But also at the same time, you're going to be able to say, well, hang on, Mary's knocking out doors in 7 minutes. Harry's knocking out doors in 15 minutes. Let's put Mary on all the doors and leave Harry on the broad wall. So it's going to give you those opportunities to work out who's better at what and what work to give them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
That's this is part of the process of what we're trying to put together for you guys. That it's gonna look, if you've got, and I know myself, I can knock out a door in 6 minutes. If I'm pushing myself, I can do 10 doors an hour. But I get in here with the apprentices and they're pumping them through at 15 minutes a door. So they're doing 4 doors an hour. So when we're doing training, and that's what you expect from an apprentice,
Yeah.
that they're going to work to that sort of rate. So, and then for them as well, it's also showing for them as well as yourself that they are gradually improving. That's the other thing to be looking at. Are your staff lazing off? Are they sticking to their guns? Are they, so it'll give you those opportunities to see who's actually putting in the effort and who isn't.
No, absolutely. I think it's going to be a really great feature. Once I finish it, which shouldn't be too long. It should be within the next couple of days. To get this to get this form access and the automations and all the auto calculations and all of it sent into your portal. Depending on how many staff you have, you will need potentially to have a crew, which we've currently got for the same price as the solo package at the moment. We've also got, for the meantime, we've got paper-based copies. It won't do any of the auto averages and the auto calculations, but if you're wanting to print some of these out to give to your staff members, if you trust them doing the mathematics, we'll give you these will be available for free. So you'll be able to print these out, give them to your staff, and get them to work out their rates for you if you like. And then I've got your employer rates one as well, where you'll put the total average for your team in there. I've lost my train of thought. Where was I? With this one as well, we're also looking at doing, I'm calling it a golf handicap for the moment. So obviously it's going to be a lot to read through and look at all of this. The higher the number, the better at the end of the day. The more area they're covering, the better. So we're going to have kind of like a score for each of your staff members based on their average rates. So you can have a look at a glance how they're tracking and whether they're improving over time as well. So it won't be all spreadsheets in your face. You'll have like almost like a golf handicap for each staff member for their spread rates.
Which can be good if you've got half a dozen staff and you're trying to motivate them, and you want to start looking at from a perspective of, okay, let's have an award for the best who's improved the most over the month, or who's done something that's and it gives them that little bit of a warm fuzzy feeling that they've got something that they're going to work a little bit harder. It might be a carton of beer, it might be a rum, it might be a bonus, $100 bonus for the month because you've really put in an effort this month. And that's going to help you to keep your staff retention at the same time. We know how difficult it is trying to keep staff these days. So, if you've got someone that's putting in that bit extra effort, this is going to actually show you how they are doing it and how they're actually being more profitable for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really quick and easy to do. I know it looks like there's a lot of things and you don't want your staff members stuffing around on their phone or stuffing around with pens and maths while they're at work. But if they know that wall's 20 meters squared, they just go, all right, I'm doing my prime coat, start the timer, away they go, stop the timer, chuck it in. All right, I'm doing my 2 top coats now, just time it and move on, as long as they know, the area that they're covering. But for the benefit of it, for your quoting and your business, I think it would be definitely worth it looking into getting your spread rates for your staff down. Okay. We are running a bit over time. I think it would be, do you want to jump into a Q&A if we've got any?
No, I'm all good at the moment.
All
I've
good?
actually got to get back.
Back to it.
No, not a
Start making some
problem.
money.
We really appreciate you coming on, Kenneth. So I'm not Ken, so I'm not just talking to to the staff members, you as well, Simon.
Yeah.
No, it
Great.
was very, very good, very helpful. Thanks, Michaela, and
No, not a
thanks,
problem.
Nigel.
No worries, mate. And Simon, what about you? Have you got any questions? I know you missed that first little bit.
Yeah, I might have missed it. I've actually been a bit busy in the meantime, which
Yeah.
isn't.
Okay.
I heard there's going to be a recording.
Yep.
I missed out. Is there any sort of integrations with this, like for Zero and all that?
We're
Integrations
working
into
on,
Zero, what we're working on. As you can imagine, Zero has a lot of security factors that need to be checked out because at the end of the day, that Zero is your livelihood.
Mm,
Yeah.
But we've essentially been given the green light to do an integration that will take a fair bit of time. I'm going to be cross-checking absolutely everything because that's the last thing you need is for your numbers to be, I suppose, messed up. So Zero integration is in the plans for future for BrushHand, absolutely.
Okay, that's great. But in the
yeah,
meantime, I'm not too familiar. Like, how
Mm.
does it work if there's no integration? Is there like some sort of file you can export or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
CSV. Yep,
yeah, you
you
can
can
Yeah.
download.
export all
Okay,
your
so
files.
CSV file.
So
Yep.
I can go to, if you were doing it for quotes, for example, all quotes, and we're going to click the three dots at the top, export. This
To a
is the same for
CSV
your
file.
same for your business costings as well. CSV file and export, and then applications like Xero will usually let you pop that file in and
Load.
then map it to
Yep.
where you need it mapped to.
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
And that's the same with, it's exactly the same with your expenses. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
download. Our biggest thing, I guess, our biggest thing with the crossover with every company with Zero Accounting and MYOB and all the different ones is everyone's code numbers are different, and that's where we're just trying to make sure that, you know, say for instance your invoicing code or your cost of sales code is, you know, 4002, Simon, but Ken's is 4007.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
And you know, so everyone's has different coding numbers. So we're just
Yeah.
trying to work out, and then everyone has different names on their expenses. You know, some
Uh-huh.
people call it petrol, some people call it fuel.
Yeah.
So we're just, yeah. So we're just trying to work out the best way doing that moving forward of whether or not we're going to have to end up doing that integration individually per person as it
Yeah.
goes through,
No,
which we don't want to
no,
do.
that won't be
Yeah, which
happening.
we don't want to do because that's, you know, so that's where the integration side is we just got to get that right before
Yeah.
we start, you know, getting you guys, because everything will be all over the shop.
I will just
Yeah.
also show you quickly. I showed you that we can export. We can also import. So if you've got an Excel spreadsheet with all your clients on it and you're stuck in the dinosaur days, pop that Excel spreadsheet into here so you can import your data. This is where you drop in your Excel spreadsheet, select your columns which line up with our fields, and add it in, and then all your clients would populate throughout here off your Excel spreadsheet into BrushHand, so you don't have to enter them in manually.
Very good.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's been mentioned before.
Yeah.
Is there like a mobile app? Let's say, you know, you're on site, you don't have a laptop.
Yeah, absolutely. So we haven't got it available in the App Store as such because Apple actually they take about 30% of your profits if you're selling an application through the App Store. But what I will show you, I actually have got it on my phone.
I've
So
got
if
it
we
on mine as
go,
well.
yeah, so if you go into BrushHand in Safari or in Google on your phone, oh, I'll get rid of this blur. Down the bottom, you've got your share button, which you can select add to home screen from the share button, which is
A tiny little screen. Yep.
All right, can you
That's a
see
bit
me
better.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
So on your iPhone, if you access BrushHand through Safari, if you hit your share button, there's an option to add it to your home screen. So I can add BrushHand to my home screen like this, and then it will appear as an app. There she is. And then, yeah, it's functional through an app. So everything will look a bit different from what it does on your desktop. It'll be a bit more condensed, but you can still access everything the same. It's just in a phone view as per se.
Okay, awesome.
And the same on an iPad or a tablet or
Yeah,
anything like that.
Android as well it works for. It's iOS
Yep.
and Android.
Oh, that's great. You've got both. I want Android.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. I think you can do it the same way on the Android as well.
Yeah,
Adding it to the to your home screen.
to your home screen. Yeah. No, great question.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys?
Anything else?
No, that's it for me. I'm back into
Oh,
it.
awesome. Yep, fair enough. No, again, really appreciate you guys being here.
Yep.
And yeah, actually having a look at it, it's been really great to be able to go into depth with it, with some actual painters.
All right.
No,
Thanks again.
awesome.
Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.